All right, today is actually February 14th. We are halfway through the Real Food Challenge. And I was doing some stuff this morning, getting my day prepared, and I realized there's a topic that I've been wanting to share. And this comes back to a question that people ask quite often, which is things like, well, fruits are healthy for you, right? I can just eat however many fruit I want. So how much fruit I want. And even companies like Weight Watchers, for example, and a lot of other weight loss diet programs will instruct you that fruits are free foods. They're like, oh, it's a free food. I don't even know what that really means, but they basically just say, oh, it's a free food. Eat whatever you want with it. But when you come back to tracking food, you begin to realize that that's actually kind of bullshit. Like, it's not a free food at all. And so we need to make sure that we know exactly what we're eating. And so every day, as one of my snacks, I have a protein shake and I have a bowl of fruit with it. That's one of my meals, my quote unquote meals for the day. And because I do it every day, I get kind of immune to the idea of weighing all that food every single day. And I think to myself, I know how much I need to eat. And so I'm going to show you guys an example today of why it's so important to get a food scale and measure your food and make sure that you know exactly what you're eating every single day, because fruits are not free. They are basically sugar with a little bit of fiber. Depending on the type of fruit, some fruits have more fiber, for example, blackberries and raspberries, which I will have today. But I want to share with you why it's important to weigh this food. Now, I'm going to flip my camera around and show you what I've got going on here. Here is my fruit for the day. I've got my bowl and I've got my scale here. I've got blueberries, I've got raspberries, I've got blackberries, and I've got grapes. And so this is typically how I do my snack every day. I have a mixture of these things because, as I said, they're all high in sugar, but like the raspberries and the blackberries are really high in fiber. So I make sure I eat quite a few of those. So I've got my scale here, and if I click it on with my bowl on, as you see, it'll go to 0. So I know exactly how much, there's no weight in this bowl at this point. So I typically eat around 20 grams of both blackberries and blueberries and blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. So I already have those, and I know that there's usually between 6 and 8 of those blackberries and raspberries equals about 20. So I have those sitting here. These are actually a little smaller today. I'm sorry, there's 40 grams of blackberries in there, and then also the same thing with my raspberries, 40 grams of both of those. So that equals 83 grams of those two. And normally, again, it's about 6 or 8 of each of those makes my 40 grams of fruit. But it depends on the size every single time, and I'll show you why that really matters. The next one is my blueberries. And so I've got my handful. It's usually a handful of blueberries. That's really scientific, right? But if I put these in here, should be up to about 120 grams. There's 125 grams. So that's my typical fruit snack there. That's exactly what I have to have. And then I throw in a few grapes with this to give me a little extra added sugar, because grapes are much higher in sugar. Now, this is where this measurement really matters. Normally, I know that I can eat between 10 and 12 grapes. That's my typical number. And I'm going to show you why measuring is so important. So we have 125 grams here. And if I did my grapes normally, if I did 10 or 12 or whatever, you would see now that's going to make this big difference. I bought these grapes this past weekend. I have no idea how these got so big or why they are, but these grapes are enormous. And so if I just put one grape in there, that's about 12 grams just in that one grape. So there's 2 grapes, there's 3 grapes, there's 4 grapes. That's 190 grams. I need 100 or 200 grams of fruit. If I put that one in there, that's 207 grams of fruit. That is my limit for my fruit. 200 grams of fruit with all of that. And you see there's only 5 grapes in there. So if I were to tell you eat somewhere between 10 and 12 grapes, you're going to have twice as much sugar in this bowl as you really think you need. And so that's why it's so important to measure and have a scale. This scale's a $10 food scale on Amazon. So it isn't expensive. You just have to, you just need to go buy one, put your bowl on it, put your fruit in it, and off you go. So that's my lesson on fruits today, because I think it's really important to understand what that looks like in a bowl, but also if you get really, really lazy and you start putting fruit in a bowl like that every day and not measuring it, or you're just grab a handful of grapes out of the bag and think, well, I can eat 10 or 12 of these grapes. Jason said that was a good serving. Well, we just proved today that 10 or 12 grapes is twice as many grapes as you should be having, or at least that I should have, according to the numbers that I put together for my meal plan. So just be careful, use your scale, weigh things out, track everything into your tracking system, your MyFitnessPal or CarbMinder, whatever it is that you're using, and really keep up with those numbers so that you can know exactly what you're putting in your body, and that you can constantly track it and know exactly how to make adjustments when you need it. So that's my video for today. Watch your fruit consumption, watch your sugar consumption, watch your calories by tracking everything and measuring it out as often as you can, just to keep yourself to remember how much, or remind yourself how much you should be eating. All right, that's it. Have a great Valentine's Day.